Charlie Kirk makes this girl prove why college is a scam. So without further ado, we're not wasting any time. You are not going to want to miss this one, okay? This is a really good debate. Grab your popcorn, get ready, and let's rock.
I was hoping we could talk a little bit more about how you see college as a scam.
Okay, I think we did that, but sure. So.
If you want to talk about something else, we can talk about something else. I was just curious.
Okay. What would you like to pinpoint on that?
Yeah, well, I think a big part of your issue is that people are spending a lot of money and that you feel like they're not getting the equivalent of all the money that they go into debt or that they have to borrow to make it worth it. Well, in that case, I think education is really awesome. I think it's really valuable. I think education's the only way that someone like you is able to write a book is because someone taught you how to read and write. And education on all levels is great. So that's not that one, I don't think that's your issue with college, right?
Do you know where I went to college?
I don't think that's important right now. Let me just...
I didn't.
I'm just talking I said read and write, like who taught you to read?
No, I agree. I didn't say grade school's a scam.
Can we just keep going? All right.
I said college is a scam, not grade school.
Right.
Keep going.
So we're talking about the financial part, right? So do you think that college should be free then so that everybody can get like a free education?
No.
Why not?
By the way, what's happening in college is not an education.
Well, okay. You don't think that college should be free because it's not an education? If it was...
no.
Wait. If
Both,
it was an
for both.
education in your eyes, would you think that should be free? Or
what do you mean by free? You mean paid by somebody else?
Well, sure, our taxpayer dollars would go to pay for it.
So paid by somebody else.
Sure.
Sure. No, I don't believe that your schooling should be paid by somebody else.
I want my taxes to go to schooling for everybody. I think education's great. I don't want my taxes to go to fund wars. I don't want my taxes to go to the military or the police budget, but I don't get to pick.
You don't want any military?
I don't think that it should go to fund the military like that. I want my taxes.
You don't want any police force?
I want my taxes to go towards education because I think education is valuable. Do you think that education should be paid for?
So define education, I'm curious.
Sure, it's just I would probably say that education right now is the ability to go out and learn different mindsets, to be introduced to different subjects, to have the opportunities to talk about these things with
Sorry guys. I mean, how y'all feeling about all this? Do you agree with her? Let me know. For me, what are you talking about? We need our military. like, don't you want to feel comfortable when you're sleeping at night? Come on, back to the video.
A lot of different kinds of people. I think that's the really cool part about college. Someone like you can come here and have different opinions. My history teacher just talked about how he does this whole like, I'm a conservative, old school conservative act, and then one of my other teachers, she's like, I'm a bleeding hippie, you know? There's like a lot of opportunities to just be introduced to subjects you didn't even know were a thing. Like, I didn't know that semiotics was a thing until my last philosophy class, and I think that's really interesting. So just the idea that you get to go out to this place and you get to get taught about a bunch of different ideas, are you against that being available for everyone?
Oh, I have a completely different view of what education is. So education in Latin means to lead forth.
Okay.
Your idea of education is the New Age, which is we're going to have like a buffet line of postmodern ideas and all ideas are treated the same. I don't believe that at all. College means partnership in Greek, and going back to education, you must lead forth towards something. And I think college should lead you towards the good, the true, and the beautiful.
Okay.
It should lead you towards things.
You think it should lead towards beautiful things?
Of course.
Like beautiful things? Like you think that we should go out after college and be like, where's the prettiest thing that's around me?
If your idea of beauty is just the aesthetic, then you're not having a great college experience.
What's your idea of beauty? My bad.
That which is perfected in being.
Okay, so you really like the Greek ideas and like the Roman ideas of like the idea of perfection and perfect harmony, because that's like a very Greek and Roman way of approaching.
It's Western, which is the civilization we currently live in.
Okay, but that
let me
stems
finish.
from Greek and Roman
Of course, you're right.
ideologies.
So the good, the true, and the beautiful are the three things that every college student should grapple with. Do you think in this current university that is what you're currently grappling with? That the focus of your education is enriching yourself to get closer to what is good, what is true, and beautiful?
See, I don't engage with you on the ideas that good, true, and beautiful are something that can be defined and something that can be taught.
You're perfect evidence of why I think college is a scam.
Why do you... Wait, I don't...
Because of course they could be defined, and they should be sought after.
Okay, so you think that something like the beautiful, the perfect... like
Yes.
something like goodness can be defined in quantifiable, teachable. Oh, because you're Christian, I forgot. You guys think
Yes.
that there's like
Yes,
a binary to
well, no,
goodness.
there's a hierarchy, not a binary.
Oh,
there's an
okay.
ultimate perfection. The ultimate
Okay.
perfection would be that there's a creator who loves you, who
Okay.
made you in his image and loved you so much to come down and take the broken flesh form, live a perfect life, die and rise from the dead
Mm-hmm.
so that you might live forever. There is nothing more perfect, good, true, or beautiful than that.
Right. Exactly.
Okay, so I don't really engage with religion like that, but what about just the idea that you get to go to a place, you get taught about different subjects, you get the opportunity, okay, I'm sorry, because you don't have access to all these things wherever you come from. You get the opportunity to talk to people who know a lot about these different subjects and get to learn about that. You don't think that
No,
should be free or like provided
First of all, I don't
for?
think it should be free, and I don't think that's what education should be or what it once was when it was at its best.
When do
see-
you think it was at its best? Because we have like the Indian Golden House of, oh no, I think it was called the
Okay.
Baghdad Golden House of Wisdom. We have the Greek and Roman, and they had their whole thing.
She just sounds like she wants handouts. To me, that's what it sounds like. She sounds like she's trying to create this fantasy world where college is free and our tax dollars don't go to the military. What are y'all putting in these people's heads in these schools to say stuff like this? I'm glad I watched this video. I'm glad we're watching this, right? I really feel for I'm serious. I do mean this. I really feel for the up and coming generation. Seriously. I hope that our up and coming and by the way, ma'am, whoever you are in this video that I'm reacting to, I'm not knocking you. You can have whatever opinion you want to have, whatever view you want to have. That's okay. I just want to make sure that's crystal clear. All right. But at the same time, I mean, come on, we could do better. This is why we got to fix our education system. This is literally, this is a perfect example of why we have to fix it. Back to the video.
About how you have to learn astrology at the same time as learning your education. We
Correct.
have like so many different points of learning and knowledge. I think people just love to learn. I think learning is inherent to what we want to do with our lives.
So two thoughts. That is the first line of Aristotle's Metaphysics, which is all people seek to know, that something within us wants to learn. So to answer your question, when was education at its best? It
No,
at
that
its-
was you were the one
Can I
who's like,
finish?
education is not at their best here. You're like, this is your new age bullshit. Like,
It is. So
when was it good?
I was about to say that, and you interrupted me again.
Oh,
Okay.
my bad. I'm
All right.
sorry.
So it was at its best when we had a thing called classical education here in America, specifically around the American founding. Classical education has a prioritization on Socrates, Plato, and Aristotle, and the core canon of Greek thinking, which is that there is an abstract, distant good, the logos, which created the world, right? I want to try to find out more about what that is.
So you think that education should revolve around ethics then? You think it should be
Well,
teaching
it's a
people...
big part of education. Yes, I think that creating good people should be the #1 priority of education.
Okay.
Do you guys think that creating good people is a priority at Cal State Fullerton?
I don't think that is really a thing that you can achieve, like, with a pointed... I don't think there's a way to really teach somebody... Being a good person is so hard, and it involves
hard.
so
I
many
could prove it
different
to you, though.
factors.
I could prove to you
I think
how
that
we could do it.
We're getting a little bit too
no.
general with things because
No.
the Greeks and the Romans,
I'll
they
prove it
weren't
to you.
really like they had a lot of beliefs. Okay, Plato and Aristotle were not like, let's do the most good. They were not all in agreement about all these different things. They had a lot of different
they had a
disagreements.
teacher-student relationship. But let me ask you a question: do you think people would commit more crimes or less crimes if they knew that a police officer was watching them at all times?
I don't think this is what we're talking
no,
about, bro.
No, you said you cannot teach people good. I'm asking a question. If somebody thought that somebody was watching their actions, would they behave differently?
I think that people behave differently when
Yes.
people watch their
Therefore,
actions.
if society thought that there was a God that was watching all of their actions, would they behave differently?
Do you feel like you behave better when someone is watching your
Absolutely.
actions?
And in fact,
So you feel like you can't be good without someone there to observe
it's not a matter of you can't be good, is that you act better if you think that there is somebody watching and judging your actions.
That feels
This is the
really
biblical
unfortunate for you, because I want to do good because I think it's better for the people around me, not because someone's watching me.
Hold
That's
on.
like the ideas of the panopticon.
Well,
you
hold on
know?
a second. But if you believe that somebody is always watching your behavior, you'd be less likely to lie, less likely to steal, less likely to cheat. And this is a good question because you're coming after this in good faith. Do you think human beings are generally naturally good or generally not so good? Are we flawed from our birth, or are we good, or are we a blank slate?
You know, Charlie, before she answers that, Charlie brings home a really good point. And this is why, for me, you know, I'm all for having the father in the household. Okay. I'm all for that because of this. And he's using the police officers, but I feel, you know, he could have also used parents, right? Because there's a lot of data to point to that specifically as well. But I just wanted to put that out there because I hear Charlie's point, and I actually agree with him. Back to the video, though.
So you're bringing up these Christian ideas of good again. I don't think we really come to the same synthesis on what a good person is.
Okay,
I feel like
was Hitler good?
I feel like, again, you're not listening to me. I
Pretty
feel like we
simple
don't
question.
come to the same synthesis about
Well,
what
I think
good
we will, though.
is, because for me, I think that something like good is, again, the question of ethics. It's not really a question of education, right? So you have to decide
but super simple. It's not a trick question.
decide for themselves is good is different, right? So Hitler thought what he was doing was good for his people. We do not see his actions as good because he was pretty awful to a lot of people. But when we turn things into an ethical question, he may see it as doing good for himself and God, because yes, a lot of people believe they're doing good for God, even if that thing is killing people.
Was Hitler doing something objectively wrong?
Which thing are you talking about? You're talking about the
concentration
genocide?
camps.
No, I don't like the concentration camps, believe it or not.
But hold on, you don't like. So was that objectively bad?
What?
Objectively bad? I do think that hurting people is objectively bad.
Okay, so now we're believing in bad. So then good. There's a spectrum now. You said objectively bad. So you now just said there's a spectrum. It's not a matter of, well, somebody wanted to do some good for yourself. No, no, no. Now there's a spectrum. Concentration camp bad. So then let's get away from that. How about Mother Teresa? Good?
Are you talking about her actions in trying to help the poor?
Hundreds of thousands of poor people that were saved in India and Calcutta thanks to her sacrificial work over 30 years.
I don't know Mother Teresa like that, but can we go back to I feel like we've gone really off track.
No,
for one,
actually,
no, you got
you're talking about the most important thing because
hey, dude, you're interrupting me again.
Well, it is kind of our table. So,
so you can interrupt me.
No.
But I can't interrupt you.
Hold on. The fact you can't answer this question shows that college is a scam. Because
What?
if you can't say that Mother Teresa good and Hitler
Mother
bad,
Teresa denied anesthetics to people who were in serious pain because she thought the suffering would bring them closer to God. I think a lot of what she did could be considered.
That to be true.
Okay,
but
but
I'll take
whatever.
it.
We can't just reference random things and use that, because right now we're talking about ideologies. Again, I find that what I consider to be good revolves more around the fact that humans are social creatures, and generally pro-social attitudes of promoting collectivism tends to be better for people just because that's in our evolutionary nature.
Is
but
it?
You are a Christian, so you believe that there's a guy watching you, and that's what makes you do good. You're
No,
like,
it's not.
if someone's
Ma'am, you just skated out of that question. No, you're not going to do that. You're not going to do that. You knew you were cornered, and then you tried to find some dirt on Mother Teresa, which actually checkmate, because that just proved Charlie's point. Checkmate to Charlie, right? And this is, they don't think. This younger generation, I mean, not all of you guys, by the way. If I have any younger generation, I'm not against the younger generation. I just want to let you know. I love y'all. But I'm just saying, you got some people that, back to the video.
me, I am more likely to be nice. But I want to be nice
there's a lot
because
of other,
I like
there's
how
other
other
reasons to
people
do good.
react when
I was
they're nice.
asking the
Okay.
question that would you be more or less likely to shoplift if a police officer was next to you in a department store? It's a very simple ethical question.
But how does that make me good or not? That just makes
It
me
makes
worried
you
about
act
consequences. No, it makes me worried about consequences, you little
exactly.
face man.
If you do not have consequences,
But consequences does not determine ethics. It
the
just
mark
means
of an intellectual fool is throwing around pejoratives when they don't have wisdom. Remember that. So
Nah, bro, go back. What'd she just say? Go back.
ethical question.
But how does that make me good or not? That just makes
It
me
makes
worried
you
about
act
consequences. No, it makes me worried about consequences, you little
exactly.
face man.
If you do not have consequences,
But consequences does not determine ethics. It
the
just
mark
means
of an intellectual fool is throwing around pejoratives when they don't have wisdom. Remember that. So
What a fool am I?
the question is this: If you do not believe there's a consequence to your action, why wouldn't you do the action?
See, that's, again, the ideology of consequentialism. I don't really subscribe to that.
There should be consequences.
No, but I think that consequences, your actions can exist outside of a vacuum of consequences, right? We can't make our decisions based on whether or not we think the actions will lead to a certain outcome, because those will always be random, right? So I revolve more around, we try to do things that we think will promote general pro-social attitudes. I think that is more likely to get us, other than worrying about that.
Let me ask you a hypothetical. This will tell me a lot. Is pedophilia wrong?
Pedophilia, I consider to be wrong because it is actively damaging someone else, right?
But what if they say they're a minor attracted person and it's pro-social to be with a young person? Why are they wrong?
Do you know what pro-social means? Like, pro-social means, there's like pro-social and antisocial behaviors. It's like a theory of social psychology. Pro-social generally means like working together, socialization.
No, they're socializing with an 8-year-old. Why is that wrong?
Okay, that's not socializing, and you know it. Antisocial behavior usually means doing things that are considered rejecting socialization, like rejecting other people, pushing things away, promoting things that other people actively end up considering less.
So then should pedophiles go to prison?
Pedophiles go to... I do not know what's the best way to handle pedophilia, because how do we know? I don't think that anyone should molest a child, God forbid.
But hold on.
I really don't.
Why shouldn't a pedophile go to prison?
What? That's... Again, we're getting really off topic. Let's go back to the ideas of good and evil and
we're talking about college is a scam, and you're a perfect example, like one of the best I've ever seen to show the intellectual drivel that is caught on a college campus.
Okay, because you think that I'm not being taught about the good, the pure. Well, let's go back to that, because I thought that was really interesting.
Yeah, the good, the true. We'll do a couple more minutes. The good, the true, and the beautiful. Yes.
Right. So you think that that's something that can be quantified, can be taught, and that it
and experienced.
And not only that, that it should be taught. That we should promote the ideas of good and beauty to other people.
Correct.
Okay, but let's remove it from that. What about just the idea of... Because remember, the ancient Greeks and Romans that you love so much, they didn't have the same ideas of God in the same way that we do. But
That's
they
correct.
still... Thank you for saying I'm correct. That was really nice of you.
It's true, you're right.
So when they wanted to learn, when they sought out learning, when they had schools of learning and all that kind of stuff, a lot of the times they didn't just teach things around ethics. They taught other stuff. They taught astrology, they taught medicine, they taught science, they taught arts, and people wanted to learn that. Do you think that that ability, that experience of going into a place and saying, can you teach me more about this subject? Can I learn? Can I expand my worldview? Can I get open to different beliefs? Do you think that that should not be paid for or not be compensated?
First of all, it should definitely not be paid for. Secondly, it depends if those disciplines are rooted in the pursuit of truth, goodness, and beauty.
So you think only if they're tied into something that falls in your ideological worldview?
Can I finish? Okay.
Oh, I'm sorry.
If those disciplines are rooted in the good, the true, and the beautiful, absolutely. Let me give you a hypothetical example.
Okay.
So if you go, I don't know if this school has one, but if they have some sort of center for like feminist ideology or some sort of do they have one here? Then that is not in the pursuit of what is good, true, and beautiful. That is in the pursuit of how I can complain and hate men and get a degree and be paid for that.
I was
All right. So, wow. There's a lot to unpack here, all right? But this is what I'm going to say. I'm going to say this woman, to me, this is just my personal opinion, was speaking out of emotion. She was very emotional. She wasn't thinking logical, okay? A lot of the stuff she was spewing, I mean, to me, it was just in one ear, out the other. I'm just going to be honest, no disrespect. She only because, and the reason why I say that is because I kind of just, I couldn't follow her because she kept, number one, she kept cutting Charlie off. And number two, anytime Charlie would ask her a question that involved kind of just getting to the bottom of just the truth in terms of what they were talking about, she would either backtrack or say that he's changing the subject, right? Just to not answer the question, right? like the thing that she did with Mother Teresa, which I didn't like, right? So that is, now personally me, this is how I feel. I feel that I need to go on a college campus to see if that's how the people in college, how they all, I don't think that's how they all act and think. I'm just going to be honest with you. But I do think there are a majority that react that way, right? So that's just my opinion, guys. All right. Let me know what you guys think. All right. You guys siding with this woman? Or are you guys siding with Charlie Kirk? Okay. Let me know what you think, because for me, I'm going to have to side with Charlie on this one. All right. And look, I have to give her a certified woke. I got to give her the stamp. I got to give her the certified woke stamp here, because, for me, she was just blabbering. And, I heard some of her points, but yeah, not for me. Not for me personally. All right, guys. So thank you for watching. Make sure you kick the like button, slap the subscribe button for more. Until next time, peace.